All right, good morning, everybody. So we are going to start just with our neck and our shoulders today. You can do this standing, you can do this sitting on the floor, you can do this sitting in a chair. I am very stiff and sore and kind of tired today, so I am going to do the first portion seated. Then we're going to go into a kneeling position. You can absolutely stay standing, or for some of them, you can stay seated or I'm going to be against a wall. So I'm going to use a foam pad underneath my knee. I'm going to be against the wall and we're going to do some open books and some shoulder circles against the wall. And then a little bit of runner's lunges. And then we're going to do some exercises on our tummies down on the floor. And again, you can be against a wall for these if you need to. And then we're going to do a little bit of, if we have time, my plan is to do a little bit of the deep squats or knee drops and some down dog and scorpion, but we'll see what we have time for. But we're going to start sitting, standing, whatever is comfortable. Just nice deep breath in. So breathe it in, reach it up, and then we're going to exhale down. So we're not doing a crazy workout or warm up before we start today. So just remember that most of us are doing this because we are feeling a little stiff and sore, or for me, this is right away in the morning. So I just woke up probably within the last hour, and I am definitely a little stiff and sore this morning. So I'm going to listen to my body, keep my range of motion small until I start to feel a little bit looser. Good, let's do one more. Good, and we're going to bring it down. We're just going to roll the shoulders down and back one time, and then we're going to stack our ribs over our hips, and we're just going to very gently start to do side to side head tilts. So we're going to think about keeping our nose pointing forwards, chin parallel to the floor, and we're just going to go side to side. And remember, it's ear to shoulder versus shoulder to ear. And it's just a nice good side to side. And the plan is after you do a few of these, you should start to feel a little bit looser, a little more comfortable. Good. Let's bring our head up and we're going to look to one side and look to the other. Again, we're just going to look side to side. And this is a great one to do, especially for those of you that still drive. This is just checking our blind spots. Good. Bring it in the center. We're going to tilt our ear to our shoulder, and then we're going to very gently add in a nod. So we should feel a little bit deeper stretching. I feel this all the way up to the base of my spine, or base of my neck, I should say. Good. And bring it up and keep the tilt, and now we're going to shake our head no. So just think about nose going to the ceiling, nose going towards your armpit. Good. Let's go ahead and relax. Bring that head up. And now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So tilt our ear to our shoulder. Keep your shoulders level. And we're going to very gently nod our head. Yes. So we're kind of multitasking. Good. Let's bring it in the center. And now again, we're going to shake our head no. And I can tell that on one side, I can go a little bit higher than the other. Good. A couple more. Good. Release. And we're going to bring the head up. And we're going to just do a little bit of a chin tuck. And then we're going to lift. So a little chin tuck and then a lift. So think about putting an apple underneath your chin and then lifting your head to look up towards the rainbow in the sky. So just tuck and then lift. Got a couple more. Good. Bring it up and we're going to trace our collarbone. So we're going to look to the right, tuck your chin, and now you're going to draw a smiley face, trace your collarbone until you're looking to the other side, and then we're going to look forwards. So go the other direction. So turn, little tuck, trace your collarbone, up and center. So turn, tuck, trace, up and center, turn, tuck, and trace. Good. We're going to do one more each direction. And I really want you to think about keeping your chin close to your body as we're doing our tuck. We don't want to round our upper spine. We want to just think just our head moves. Good. And we're going to bring it into the center. Take your right ear to your right shoulder, and your left hand, you're going to take the back of the hand into the small of your back. And if you can give yourself a little back rub, great. If you're really tight, you might just be trying to get your hand to the back of your hip. We don't want to let the shoulder pop up or rotate forwards. We want to try to keep it a little bit down. It is going to internally rotate. We just don't want to pop the shoulder up and forward and round the spine to do it. But if you can just do a little bit of a back rub here. Good. And then release. And we're going to lift it up and then go to the other side. So ear to shoulder, back of the hand comes towards the small of the back. Maybe you're giving yourself a bun rub instead of a back rub. Everybody's going to be a little different. And if you really cannot get your hand back there, maybe you can still do a tummy rub instead. You're still getting that little bit of an internal rotation, but that might feel better on your shoulder. Good. Now let's bring it in and we're going to lift it up. And we're going to just start with some really basic shoulder rolls. So think about opening the shoulders, thumbs pointing forwards. And we're just going to roll up, back, and down into our back pocket. And I am definitely feeling a little crunchy, especially on this side. I can just tell I got a little bit of stuff that's kind of goofy today. Good, 2 and 1. And now we're going to take our hands by our side. Elbows are straight. Flex your wrists. And we want to keep the straight elbows. We want to keep the flexed wrists. And we're going to just do our backward circles again. This is a little bit of flossing, so always be gentle here. Good. And now we're going to go the other direction. So straight elbows, flexed wrists. That's the important part. Good. And now we're going to bring the arms up, take them out to the side, straight elbows, flex the wrists, moving from the shoulders. So you can see I'm moving from my wrists here. I'm moving from my elbows here. I want to move from my shoulders. And let's change directions. So a lot of times we do this. If our shoulders are stiff and tight, we move from our elbows instead. Good. Let's bring it down. And we're just going to do a little shake out. Give those arms, your shoulders, and your neck a little bit of rest. And now we're going to take those arms out again. We're going to do internal, external rotation. So we're just going to think palms up and then palms down. And again, we're moving from our shoulders. So again, this is my wrists. This is my elbows. I want to move from my shoulders. And maybe your movement is here, and that's okay. But bring it in and bring it up. Bring it in and bring it up. Good. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Take your arm and you're just going to give yourself a nice big hug. Right arm on top, or just pick an arm and remember which one is on top. And we're just going to do a little gentle side to side. Good. One more. Let's bring it in. We're going to open big and then we're going to close and we're going to alternate which arm is on top every time. So just a little hug, a little chest opener. 4, 3, 2. Now bring it up and your other arm should come on top. Again, give yourself a nice big hug. And again, we're going to do just a little side to side, starting to wake up that spine. If you're not sitting, if you're standing, your hips stay pointing forwards. Here's 2 and 1. Good. Bring it in. We're going to take the arms down, shake it out. We have one more exercise where we are going to do shoulders, and then we are going to move down to the floor. Again, you are welcome to stay seated in your chair. We're going to tuck our ribs. We're going to take a nice deep breath in, reach the arms up, palms facing in, and then we're going to open cactus, pull it down and around. So arms up, palms forward, cactus, pull it down and back. And I know I start to arch my low back on my pull, so I'm trying not to let that happen. But big breath in, and then pull shoulder blades down and back. Finish your circle. So it's kind of a circle, but really think about pulling it down and back. Good. Inhale up, pull it down and back. Good. 2 more right here. Up, down and back, and then up, down and back. And we're just going to shake it out. Give yourself a little bit of space. So this one, if you want to stay seated, what you're going to do is you're going to turn yourself sideways into your chair and you are going to drop your back knee down towards the floor and do the exercises in this position, or you can just do them seated, but I want you to try doing that sideways position. But I'm going to head down to the floor and I'm going to be against a wall and I have something underneath my knee, my back knee, but my knee, my front leg, I'm going to try to have it against the wall. I'm going to try to keep my hip and my knee and the entire leg against the wall. I'm just doing my normal half kneeling position. I'm going to tuck my tail. I'm going to squeeze my glutes and we're going to do some open books. So I'm going to take my shoulders down and back, tuck my ribs. Hand is going to reach out and I'm going to think about a straight arm and I'm going to think shoulder down and I'm going to press the back of my arm into the wall. My other arm, I'm going to just take a nice deep breath in and I'm going to open and then I'm going to close. And you can breathe in here. So breathe in here, exhale, open back behind you. But I'm keeping this side of my body as close to the wall as I can get. So I'm going to open and then I'm going to close. I'm going to open and I'm going to close. And it's okay if you can only get to about here. I want you to think about opening your shoulder back behind you and then coming back into the middle. Good, couple more. Open and hold and open and in. Now we're going to take that hand that was moving, we're going to just bring it down to our hip, our hand that's against the wall. You might need to move away from the wall for this, but I'm going to bring it down by my knee. And now I'm going to draw a big circle, and then when I get close to the top, I'm going to rotate my palm to the wall, and I'm going to turn to finish my circle, like I'm looking behind me, and then I'm going to bring it up and back around. So if you have issues with your shoulders, this is one, move your body away from the wall. A little rotation, and then bring it up and around. So circle up, rotate it around. It's kind of hard for me. I've got that window right there. It's just not in a good spot. Good. We're going to do one more right here. So up, bring it around. Good. Bring it in. You can move a little bit away from the wall if you'd like. I'm going to move away from the wall just so hopefully it's a little bit easier for you to see. We're going to do a nice good hip flexor stretch. So we're going to do our half kneeling position. We're going to tuck our tail, squeeze our glute. We're going to press our front knee forward, keeping the tuck and the squeeze and the rib tuck here. We're going to reach the arms up, and I want you to think about opening from your ribs up. So instead of arching our low back, I want you to squeeze the glute, and I want you to lift like you're trying to arch from the ribs up. Reach the arms up, just a nice good stretch, and then we're going to sit it back a little bit and relax. So then we're going to do it again. Tuck the ribs, tuck the tail, squeeze the glute, press it forward, lift from the ribs up towards the ceiling. Take it back and relax. Good. One more time. So we're going to tuck, squeeze, press it forward, lift it up, reach it towards the ceiling. Good. And then release. And now we're going to take our hands down to the floor. So we're going to go for our world's greatest stretch. You can bring that back knee in a little. You can take it back behind you, but I just want you to think about nice, good stretch. Hip flexor, we're getting a little bit of inner thigh and hamstring here as well. And spine is neutral. So if you find that your back is rounded, whenever you get your hands down to the floor, I want you to elevate your hands. They can be on a couple of yoga blocks, whatever feels good for you. Just something to elevate your hands to help you keep that neutral spine position. Good. And we're going to relax. We're going to step it back. And now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to go back to my position over by the wall. So I'm switching sides here. So just nice, good half kneeling position. I'm going to try to have my entire foot, my thigh, my hip against the wall. If you've got baseboards that are kind of far out, we just don't want to push our hip over. We just want to try to stay as tall as we can. So adjust your other leg as needed, hip width apart, nice and tall, arm is out, pressing the back of the hand into the wall. And then we're just going to inhale and exhale, open behind us, and then come back. Open and close. And for this one, I'm trying to keep my hip pointing forward. So I'm trying not to open that hip back behind me as I do the open and close. So I'm going to try to open just my torso. So keeping that tuck, keeping that squeeze is going to help. And I still kind of feel like I'm opening my hip a little bit more than I'd like on this side. So good, open. Good, we got a couple more right here. Open. Good, and bring it in. That hand that was moving is now going to come by your side or by your hip. And again, back of the hand, we're just going to lift it up. And then we're going to think about circling all the way around. You can look behind you and then come all the way back to the front. Start away from the wall. The farther away from the wall you are, it's a little bit easier. This makes this for your shoulders. And I kind of struggle with these ones because my shoulders are not amazing. This one definitely feels a little bit better than the other, but I still get a little bit of crunchy. Again, you can do this standing, just being a little bit away from the wall. We've done this before, if you've done my classes before. Good, and I'm just going to do one more here. So up, back, and around, and then bring it back. Good, now I'm going to flip it over, or I'm going to move over, and I'm going to go for my hip flexor stretch. So shoulders down and back again. So we have our tail feather tuck, squeeze the glute, tuck the ribs. We're going to do that little bit of a push forwards, and then we're going to take a nice deep breath in, palms facing in. We're going to reach it up. And again, I want you to think about lifting and arching from your ribs versus from your low back. So there is a difference in how it feels. Good. And then relax. We're going to do that a couple more times. So reset, tuck your tail, squeeze your glute, a little bit of a rib tuck, press it forward, deepen that stretch, shoulders down, relaxed. So they don't have to be pulled down, but they're going to be relaxed, lifting from your ribs. And take it back. Good. And we're going to do that one more time. So tuck, squeeze, reset, a little bit of a press forwards, palms in, reach the arms up, arching from your ribs up to your head. 3, 2, 1. Relax, take it down, hands to the floor. Walk that back knee back a little bit if you would like. I keep mine on the floor because I prefer to not have to worry about balance or extra stretching. I can kind of relax into my stretch a little bit more with my hip on the floor or my knee on the floor. But again, if you find that you're rounding your spine just to get your hands to the floor, elevate your hands, put them on yoga blocks, put them on a step stool, just something to kind of help elevate. Good. In 3, 2, and 1. And we're going to go ahead and bring ourselves back. Kneeling position just for a moment. I am going to grab a drink and turn my fan on. You can give our hips, knees, wrists a little bit of a break. We're going to go back to a kneeling position on the floor. And again, you can do these exercises against a wall if you need to. It does not have to be on the floor. This just kind of helps you hold in place, but we're going to come into a hands and knees position, shoulders over wrists, hips over your knees. We're going to do a thread the needle. So we're going to take our right arm, thread the needle under the left. Your hips do not have to go to your heels here. And now we're going to come up and we're going to open our book. So we're going to open that shoulder back behind us. Good. Thread the needle, reach it under, back of the hand touches the floor, palms facing up. And now we're going to open and we're going to try to open that shoulder towards the ceiling. Good. Thread the needle. And again, you don't even have to go all the way to the floor. Today I'm not, because I really feel a good stretch in my hips and it feels good to me. Good. And then we're going to open. So I feel that stretch right where my torso attaches to my pelvis. Good. One more time. Thread the needle. Reach it under. And then let's open that book. So think about opening your shoulder. If your arm is back here or you're rotating your shoulder in, I want you to keep that palm facing towards the floor. Good. Bring it in. Little shake out. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So shoulders over your wrists, shoulders down and back, brace the core. Right here, we're going to take our arm and we're going to thread the needle. Reach it through. You can add a little bit of a forward hinge if you'd like. A little bit of a softening of this arm. Good. And now we're going to open. We're going to try to open that book. So we're opening the shoulder back behind us. Don't stress about the hand so much. Good. Bring it in. So again, this is kind of taking our shoulder towards the floor. Torso rotation here. A little hold. And then again, we're going to open. Good. We got a couple more. So we're going to thread the needle, reach it through. Back of the hand is going to be touching the floor. Good. And then we're going to bring it up. And I really, really want you to think about shoulder opens. The arm just follows along. So a lot of times we're trying to get that shoulder up and we do weird things with our hands. It's just the shoulder opening back. Good. One more time. We're also starting to engage those back muscles when we do this. Good. And then bring it up and open. Good. And release. We're going to go onto our side. So I'm going to roll onto my side. I'm going to take my arms out in front of me. My legs are going to be stacked Hips are stacked, knees are stacked, knees are about in line with my belly button. If you want to do the leg grab, if you know that, you can absolutely do that. Otherwise, arm is out. We're going to keep those knees squeezed together. We're going to take a deep breath in. As we exhale, we're going to open, and then we're going to close. And we're just going to do a couple of open books here. Good. Now we're going to hold it here. We're going to take our hand, fingertips touching the ground. We're going to come up and around, kind of like we did at the wall. Just a couple. Good. And then one more. Circle up and around. And then back around. Good. We're going to flip it over onto hands and knees. If you want to turn around now, you can, just to get ready for doing the open books and the rainbows, but we're going to be in a hands and knees position, shoulders down. We're going to brace our core, keep our elbows nice and straight. We have scapular push-ups, so you can spread out your hands, and we're going to squeeze, pinch the shoulder blades together, and then we're going to press them apart. Squeeze them together, press them apart. The hard part is when we squeeze, we either arch our back or we allow our shoulders to come up by our ears. I want you to keep them down and back in your back pocket. Squeeze the shoulders, press them away. Squeeze the shoulders, press them apart. Good, 2 more here. So squeeze the shoulders, press them apart, squeeze the shoulders, and press. Good. We're going to take it down onto our side again. We're going to do our open books and our rainbows. So we're going to bring the knees in line, arms out, take a deep breath in, exhale, open back behind you, and then come back, open, and come back. Good. Couple more. Open and back. One more. Open and return. So now we're going to take that top hand, and again, we're going to do our rainbows, just a couple. Circle it up and around. Goal is to try to keep the hands on the floor. I'm still, again, a little stiff today, so I'm not stressing about it. Circle and back around. Good. Now we're going to roll over onto our hands and knees again. We're going to start working on our hips and our legs. So I'm going to turn just so you can see, but we're going to take our right leg out. So we've come into a kneeling position, hands and knees. We're going to take our right leg out. Right leg is straight, toes pointing forwards, and then we're trying to get the outside edge of the foot flat on the floor. Neutral spine. We're just going to rock it back, and we're going to rock it forwards. Rock it back, rock it forward. So this is a crazy inner thigh stretch. Maybe you need to do this with your hand or your hands on the back of a chair, or your hands on a chair, or maybe if you're really tight with the hips, you can do this kneeling on a chair. You have some options. Good. One more here. Rock back and rock forwards. Good. Now we're going to bring it in, and we're going to switch it over to the other side. Hands and knees position, leg is out, toe pointing forwards, in line with your opposite knee. Try to get that foot flat. If you're wearing shoes, that can definitely make it a little bit harder to get the foot flat. So rock back and rock forwards. Rock back and rock forwards. It's very gentle. Like I said, we didn't really do like a warm-up today. This is part of our warm-up. So it's going to feel different doing this, you know, before your muscles are really, really loose, but this is actually a really good exercise to add into a warm-up. Good. Bring it in. We're going to shake it out. We are going to go into a deep squat. If you do not want to do the deep squat, because we're going to do deep squat and then we have an option to add in the internal rotations. So your first option is either sitting or sitting in a chair. So on the floor or on the chair. I want you to just sit as tall as you can. And we're just going to keep our feet close to our body, hips are close to our heels. And I just want you to think about a nice, good stretch. So we just don't want to round as we do this. Maybe your legs are a little farther out. You can sit nice and tall and you can drive your knees out using your elbows. You can do this sitting in a chair. Just take those legs out, feet out, nice and wide, inner thigh stretch. But if you can, I want you to try to be in a deep squat. Some of you I know can do this if you roll up a mat underneath your heels, but we want to try to stay nice and tall and just do a little bit of kind of a froggy position. Take the legs wide. I definitely feel this today. And then our next exercise is going to be in a 90-90. So we're going to do inside knee drops. You can again do this sitting in a chair, sitting on the floor, or deep squat. I might try deep squat, but I don't know if my legs are going to feel good about it today. Good. So first option is you're going to take your legs out. You're going to sit nice and tall again, and we're just going to drop the knee in, and then we're going to drop the knee in. This is one I don't want you lifting your hip to go forward. I want you to just try to drop your knee to the floor. And if you're super tight, you might be here. You might be here, and that's okay. We're just trying to get that little bit of internal rotation, which on one of my legs is not an easy thing to do. The other option, I think I can do this if I put my heels on a mat, is you're going to be doing your deep squat, and now you're going to do your knee down and your knee down. So I can do this okay if my heels are elevated. But this one is a hard one. So you do the one that feels good. I don't expect everybody to be able to do this. Good, couple more, and then we're going to be done with deep squats. Good, bring it in, have a seat. We're going to flip it over onto hands and knees. We're going to go into down dog, walk the dog, up dog, and then we should have time for maybe a couple scorpions. We'll see. We're going to flip it over hands and knees again. You can have your hands on a chair. We're just going to think about bringing it in, hands and knees, shoulders down, tuck the toes under. We're going to press it up and back into a down dog. I am keeping my heels elevated, but my knees are straight. And if you need to, if you're thinking, this doesn't feel good for my head, you're welcome to pause, come back down to your knees, reset, shoulders down, brace the core, tuck it, lift it. So you're pressing the floor away, opening underneath the shoulders, dropping your ears between your elbows, lifting your tailbone towards the ceiling. Good. And then I like to bring it down. And I'm going to do that one more time. So tuck the toes, lift it up, press it back. Again, I'm focusing on hamstrings here, a little bit of underneath the arms. Now I'm going to soften my knees a little, and I'm going to do alternating heel drops. And again, I know that I am not super warmed up. I'm considering this part of my warm-up today, so my heels may not touch the floor. If you need to take your break, you come back down, hands and knees, let the blood figure out where it's going. Come back up, and then do a few more walk the dogs. So 8, 7, here's 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Now we're going to bring it forward. You can drop to your knees or squeeze the glutes, point the toes. We're going to lift into a variation of up dog or cobra. So we're going to squeeze the glutes, protect that low back. If this does not feel good being on your hands, if this is too high, drop down onto your forearms, go into Sphinx, or drop all the way down onto your tummy and rest your chin on your hands. That is a more spine-safe exercise for those of you that have concerns. You just go all the way onto your tummy and rest your chin on your hands. You're squeezing the glutes, opening up the front of the hips more than anything. Good. We're going to carefully lower it all the way down onto our tummies. And we're going to do a few scorpions. It's the last thing that we're going to do today. Our right arm is going to reach it out to the side, palm facing down. Left hand is going to be right at your chest. Left leg, we're going to bend. And we're going to roll into that right shoulder, stretching the chest and the bicep. Just a nice, good stretch. You can do this against a wall. You can do this against an outside corner or even in a doorway. You just won't do the leg part if you're in a doorway. 3, 2, 1. Return it to the center. Same thing, switching sides. Left arm is out, shoulders away from the ear, palm down. Right hand by the chest. Right leg bends. We're going to roll into that left side. I have to shift a little bit to make it more comfortable for my chest as I roll into that shoulder. So don't feel that you have to be uncomfortable here. Good. And 4, 3, 2, and 1. Return it to the center. Hands at the chest, shoulders down. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, push yourself up and back. Child's pose. Reach those arms out. Just a little bit of a comforting, relaxing position here. And 3, 2, 1. Bring it back up. And you can come back into a seated position. Find a comfortable position to sit. We're just going to take a couple deep breaths in. So big breath in, spread the fingers. And exhale. Good. One more time. Big breath in. And out. And you are all done.